Welcome! This tutorial will teach you how to use the online tool Quizlet. The main objective of Quizlet is to provide activities that engage students in studying and learning curriculum in sets of information created by instructors. As you can see, Quizlet is used all over the world, and everywhere these dots are is where it's being used right now. To begin, you'll need to go to Quizlet.com, the website, and go to sign up. When you click on sign up, this is what you'll see. You can create a Quizlet account through Facebook, but for the purposes of our class, I'm just going to use the email sign up. You'll put in your birthday, a username and password, your email, agree to the terms of service, and then click on sign up. Once you sign up, you'll be taken to this section of Quizlet. It's the Browse section. And there are two areas. Try Something New has some featured Quizlets, and then there is Browse by Category. Browsing by category will give you an idea of what is available that appeals to you and how you might apply the tool to a Quizlet of your own. Browsing will also help you avoid recreating a learning set that is already available. Now let's look at the activity possibilities within a Quizlet set. To do that, we're going to go here to a contractions Quizlet that is already set up. And you can see down here by these buttons the 6 different activities that are within the set. I'm also going to explain the tools. In this tools area, it shows you print, where you can print out a hard copy of flashcards of your questions. This could be helpful for situations when students don't have access to the internet. Export lets you export the questions in the set to another application or Quizlet set. Copy, no copyright ownership here. This button lets you copy the set and put it into your personal collection. It can save time when you want all the sets you use in one location for students to access. Combine combines the current set with other Quizlet sets. This could work well when students need to study for something like an end-of-unit test. Embed allows you to embed these activities of Quizlet into your website. So let's start looking at the various activities here for these buttons. The first one, cards. Like I said, this is like flashcards. And when the student opens this up, they have some options. They can see both sides at once. If they unclick that, they can see the words first, or they can see the term first. I'm going to go back to both sides. There are also these options. You can go to full screen. You can shuffle the order of terms if the student is used to seeing them in a certain order, and it will help them study by shuffling them. That's where they can choose that. Then there's the Enable Audio, and this is good for students who want to be able to hear the term as well as see it, or hear the question in the case that you might have a question. So this is how that works.
Can't plus not.
Next, we're going to look at the Learn. Oh, if you want to go to other Quizlets cards, other flashcards, you just click here.
Wouldn't with plus not.
And it takes you to the next one. Okay. Now we're going to look at Learn. In Learn, it's showing you the 2 words that are supposed to be made into a contraction, and so I'll write that, click Answer, and you see it's correct. By the way, when the student is done, over here it will show their score in the different activities, and this is a gaming feature that is very appealing to some students. They like to beat their previous score or maybe beat other scores of students that have done it. The next activity we're going to look at is the speller.
Can't.
As you can see with the speller, the word is spoken, and then the student needs to say it. The words are also shown over here, and so the student can type in this case, a contraction. By the way, you'll notice that those buttons are also available up here in the menu. Okay, so after can't,
should have,
goes to the next one. The next activity we're going to look at is test. There are 4 different types of questions: written, matching, multiple choice, true, false. You can choose a limit on the number of questions. You can decide whether to start with the term or the definition, or you can have both. I'm going to show you examples of each of these kinds of questions. In a written question, the student would need to type in the answer, like that. In matching, they would pick the letter that would work. Multiple choice, and then true, false. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is scatter, and we're also going to look at race. But first of all, scatter. In this game, you drag a corresponding term onto each other and watch them disappear. So we'll start that for an example. Take that's and put it with that is, and it disappears. In the race game, you kill the scrolling words by typing in their corresponding term and press enter. You may kill them in any order, but make sure they don't scroll past the screen. Okay, so let's just see how that works. You're not, so type it in and press enter before it gets across the screen. Okay, so I'm going to go back to test here. Now, to get back to the set, we come up here and click back to set and back to the beginning. Now that you've seen each of the activities that you can do, we'll go to what you see on your main screen. And in this area, I want to show you the Your Sets area. This shows the sets that you've been working on, any sets that you've created, or any that you have chosen as favorites. Now we're going to the option of create, and you will learn how to create your own Quizlet set. The first thing you're going to want to do is put in a title. For this example, I am using water cycle. You can decide whether it will be visible to everyone, just you, certain classes, or people with passwords. I'm going to leave it as everyone. You can also choose who can edit your Quizlet. Just you, certain classes, or people with a password if you want to use it in a collaborative fashion. I'm going to leave it as just me. Over here, the subjects area is pretty important, because if a student is looking for your Quizlet, it will help them narrow down where to look if it's in a particular category to browse. So I'm going to put that in science. Allow set discussion is checked by default. You can uncheck that, but for the purposes of our class assignment, we're going to leave that checked. Scroll down and you can start putting in your terms. Now, as soon as I click on that, it wants a language. Part of the reason they ask this is if you are doing a Quizlet based on learning foreign language, you can choose from a variety of languages. But I'm going to stick with English for my purposes. So I'll start with my first water cycle term. Now you'll notice as I did that, it came up with this option of auto-defined precipitation. If you want to, you can click on that and it will bring you up some possible options. This one looks pretty good to me for a definition, so I'm going to select that. Okay, evaporation. I don't really care for their choices there, so I'm going to exit out of that and put in my own definition. Next term. I'm not going to go to the auto-define because I'm pretty sure that what they're going to have for collection is not going to be related to the water cycle. So I'm going to put my own definition in there. Next, condensation. Let's see what they have for condensation. I like that one, so I'll choose that. And they have a pretty good definition for transpiration. so I'll use that one. The default number of terms in Quizlet is 5, but you can add more than that by just clicking here or pressing tab and picking groundwater for this last one. Now you'll notice here that the word pervious is underlined in red. Quizlet doesn't recognize the spelling of that. They think it might be something else. Pervious is actually correct in this case, but this brings up the importance of being aware of spelling in your Quizlet, because once it's published, you want to make sure that there are not misspellings. So we'll want to kind of edit as we go along. Okay, now I've got the terms and the definitions. As far as import data goes, that is something we're not going to concern ourselves with in our class. It can be used to specify how you want to enter terms. You can explore that if you wish, but we're not going to do that. We are going to go to the Add Images. When I click that, you can see here where there are options to upload images. So for precipitation, you're going to see if you want to upload one, you have to have a paid account. So instead of that, we're going to search the images that Quizlet has. Okay, for precipitation, I like that one. So that will be my picture for this one. Okay, evaporation. Let's see if we have a picture that will work well with that. Anyway, rather than going through all these terms, you can see how that works, and I'll just close that now. When you have your set ready, you go ahead and click Create Set, and here it is. One of the things we'll want to look at now is the discussion question. That's where this comes up. And this we'll want to choose something that will require some higher order thinking by the student. It can be a question, it can be a comment. Considering the serious drought conditions impacting students living in the West, a question that we could use is this one, the spelling there. And once you have your question or comment ready to add, you click Send, and it comes right up here to the top. So students will have an option then to type in the response to that question or comment. The last thing that I want to show you is how to add a class. To look at that feature, we're going to go to the Your Sets area of Quizlet. And right here is the Add a Class option. So we'll click that. What is your class called? Okay, I'm going to start typing in there. And with this word, there are lots of options that come up. You can choose a class that you want to join that is already featured there. All you would have to do is add Join Class. Now, we have, okay, I'm going to create that class. Now, I'm going to choose whether or not to allow other members to add sets or add new members. And then to do this, you need to add the name of a school. I'm going to put in the name of the school that I was teaching at this past year, Westmore Elementary in Orem, Utah. Now that that's done, I can go click on Create Class. Okay, doesn't have any sets yet, so we're going to need to add a set to it. So I click on that. It'll show the sets that I've created. Here's a water cycle. Click Done, and there we have added a class with one of the sets that we worked on. Thank you for joining this tutorial. I hope you enjoy setting up your own Quizlet sets and browsing the sets that are already there. It's a great way to learn.